teams, one goal, victory. USA-England, June 12th. The first time the two have played in the World Cup in 60 years. It's one of the most talked about matchups in South Africa, and the Americans are considered underdogs.
I'd love to see it, yeah.
But 6 decades ago, the U.S. team beat England, and they were underdogs too. The tournament, the World Cup. The place, Belo Horizonte, Brazil, June 29th, 1950.
I mean, the fact that England, was almost the birthplace of soccer.
England's odds in that game were, I think, 2-1 to win it, and Brazil was on the same level. We were 500-1.
Walter Barr, a midfielder at the time, says Team USA was David to England's Goliath of talent.
This was only the 4th World Cup, 30, 34, 38, and this one was 50. This is the first one that England entered, and at that time they still were wearing the crown as the kings of football. They more or less developed the game, promoted the game, and were looked upon as the missionaries.
In 1950 America, soccer was an afterthought, a hobby played by the sons of immigrants. The U.S. team was composed of men from 3 cities. Harry Keogh was from St. Louis.
Our team wasn't bad, but to beat one of those teams that, we thought was an accomplishment, and it was.
Midfielder John Clarkey Souza played in New York.
Well, there was, let's see, from St. Louis, there was 5 players, and then the rest from the East Coast.
Midfielder Walter Barr from Philadelphia.
The worst thing to do is to play a team where you're the complete favorite. All coaches say the same thing. Look, let's bury these guys early.
The magical element of Team USA, a Haitian immigrant who had filed papers to become an American.
But Joe Gatesens was a very agile type of guy, and if there was a guy who could come up with a goal like that when you needed it, it was Joe.
By contrast, the England team was stuff of legend, with stars like Sir Stanley Matthews, Sir Tom Finney, and Bert Williams. On the day, the overwhelming favorites didn't start Matthews. This game was an afterthought to them. But 37 minutes into the match, the unthinkable became reality.
And I shot from maybe 28, 25 yards away. Now, I know the difference between a looping ball and a mishit ball. I hit the ball firm. It was a good shot. It was on target. It was to the far post. And Bert Williams, I know, had to move to his right a little bit to get it. Harry Keogh had a good view. He always claims he had a good view from here. He was on the opposite side of the field. He said Joe Gatesens left his feet. He was full in the air, and he got a piece of the ball.
The ball caught England goalkeeper Bert Williams wrong-footed.
We scored in the first half, and that really shook him up.
There was still more than a half to go. Dozens of English attempts on goal were either frustrated by the woodwork or by U.S. keeper Frank Borghi's handy net minding.
They knew, and we probably knew too, if we played them 2 or 3 times, they would probably beat us 2 or 3 times, or maybe we'd only win once.
About an hour later, the final whistle blew. USA 1, England 0. Forward Joe Gatesens was carried off the field by ebullient Brazilian fans. It was one of the greatest upsets in world sports history, and rightfully could be called a miracle on grass.
No matter who's playing who, there's always a possibility for that underdog to win a game, and that's what makes sports so good.
Of that original team, only 4 men are still with us. This was also one of the most underreported sporting events in American history. There was only one American rider who made the trip down to Brazil, and he went there on his own dime. There's also one other interesting coincidence about this matchup. Team USA in 2010 also has a forward of Haitian heritage, and he may just score against England. John Mone, The Associated Press, Pretoria, South Africa.